Welcome. We'll be doing yoga for hips and groins today. Blocks will be our friend, so go ahead and make sure you have 2 blocks available for you. We'll start by placing 1 block under each knee for support. So see how my feet are stacked here? Once we put these blocks underneath the knees, that may no longer be comfortable. So you can bring 1 foot in front of the other if that feels comfortable, and then just adjust the blocks to where it feels comfortable for you. And once you're there, let's let the palms face up and roll the shoulders back and down. We'll close your eyes as we bring awareness to the heartbeat. Just breathing normally, leaving all thoughts of our day off of our mat. Let's take a few deep breaths, inhaling through the nose all the way to the bottom of the lungs, really feeling the ribs expand and the chest lift. Exhaling to release all the air, pulling the belly in. Inhale deeply and completely. And exhaling to release all the air. Nice, slow, purposeful breaths. One more deepening breath. This time we'll take a deep inhale, and at the top of the breath we'll hold for 3 seconds. And slowly release through the nose. Inhaling deeply, and at the top holding for 3 seconds. And slowly releasing through the nose. We'll take 3 more rounds at your own breath speed. Tension release breath helps to rid the lungs, chest, and shoulders of any tension. And opening the eyes. Inhale the arms out and up, palms touch. Exhale, fingertips to the mat, chin to the chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Interlacing the fingers, push the palms inside out. And exhale forward, rounding the back, chin to the chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to push and scoop. Inhale to lift. Exhale to push and scoop. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release left, reaching the right fingertips over. Inhale to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale to the opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale here, holding this time, gazing up, forward, or down. We'll roll the top arm back so we're opening up through the chest and shoulder, actively pushing that same hip down toward the mat. Long, deep breaths here. Inhale to lift. Moving to the opposite side. And rolling the top arm back, gazing up, forward, or down. Pushing the same hip down toward the mat, so you're really feeling that stretch along the side body. Inhale to lift. Exhale to release the hands to your knees. We'll do a couple of cat and cows in our sitting position. So on an inhale, we'll lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, and lift the chin. On our exhale, we'll round the back, bring the shoulders forward and the chin to the chest. And we'll inhale to lift the chest, shoulders back, chin lifted. Exhale to round, shoulders forward, chin to the chest. Inhale, chest forward, shoulders back, chin lifted. Exhale to round, shoulders forward, chin to the chest. Coming center, we'll release the blocks. Remove the zafu from underneath you, or if you're using a pillow. Bring our feet to forward, flat on the mat. Palms come flat. Fingertips facing the feet here. On an inhale, we'll lift the hips up. And then exhale to lower. So reverse tabletop. Warming up the hips a bit. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And bring feet to one side and hands forward. Let's come to a tabletop position. Finding wrists right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. For hip rotations, pushing the hips to the right and all the way back toward the heels, then coming left. And then center again. So pushing the hips right, come all the way back toward the heels, bringing the hips left and center. 3 more times on this side. Exhaling as we go right and back. Inhaling left and center. Exhale right and back. Inhale left and center. Exhale right and back. Inhale left and center. We'll switch. Exhaling to the left, pushing all the way back. Inhaling right and center. Exhale left, pushing all the way back. Inhale right and center. 3 more. Exhaling left, all the way back. Inhale right and center. Exhale left, all the way back. Inhale right and center. Exhale left and back. Inhale right and center. And bringing the hips back. Feel free to bring knees apart a bit. Big toes touching. Forehead comes to your mat as we walk the hands forward for extended child or Bhattasana. Feel free to bring a block underneath the forehead if that feels better. Removing the block if you're using it. We'll bring the knees hip distance again and come forward so that the shoulders are over the wrists, hips lower, so that they're in line with the shoulders and knees. And then we'll exhale hips to heels. We'll inhale forward to plank on the knees. So hips only lower to where they're in line with shoulders and knees. Exhale hips to heels. Inhale forward to your plank. Exhale hips to heels. Inhale forward. Exhale to bend elbows, lowering all the way down to chaturanga. Inhale to lift, cobra. We'll hold here, pushing tops of the feet into the mat, pulling the chin in, relaxing the shoulders down as we squeeze elbows close to the body. Belly buttons pulled in. Exhale, hips to heels. Couple of breaths to the low back. Inhaling forward to plank on your knees. Exhaling chaturanga, bending elbows close to the body. Inhale, we'll lift. This time to high cobra. So straightening the arms just as long as it feels okay to your low back. If you feel any pinching in the low back, bend the elbows until it's released. And that may even mean a little bit lower so the belly's on the mat, or just pushing the hands slightly into the mat. And exhale, hips to heels. Couple of breaths here in Bhaktasana, extended child. And lifting to tabletop, pull your right foot forward. Coming to lunge, knee right over the ankle here. Feel free to use blocks. You can come to the taller part of your blocks. We'll tuck the back toes and lift the knee. Then exhaling to lower, we'll untuck the toes and push the hip down. Inhaling to tuck and lift. Exhale to lower and untuck, pushing the hip. Only going to where it feels like a good stretch, not any pain here. So inhaling to tuck and lift. Exhale, lower, untuck and push. Inhale to tuck and lift. Exhale, lower. One more, inhaling to tuck and lift. Exhale, lower. So we'll hold a couple of breaths here. If this feels good, you can stay right here. If you'd like to go a little deeper with your stretch, your front foot can come forward a bit so that the left hip can lower a little more. Your hands can even come to the front knee or reach above the head. So again, listening to your hip here. If it becomes too much as you lift your arms, bring the hands back down. Bending at the hips, we'll pull the right foot back and switch to the left. The left foot coming all the way forward. Right hip lowering. Again, feel free to use the blocks here as we tuck the toes and lift on our inhales. Exhale to lower, untuck and push the right hip. Inhale to tuck and lift. Exhale to lower, untucking and pushing the right hip. Inhale to tuck and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tuck and lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, tuck and lift. Exhale, lower. This time holding again with those options to keep hands at the block. Adjust the front foot forward a bit. Bring hands to your front knee or even all the way up toward the ceiling. Staying here, listening to that hip, lowering if it becomes too much of a stretch. Exhale, bending at the hips. We'll pull the left foot all the way back. This time for a high Bhaktasana, or extended child, hands on the tops of the blocks, hips pulling all the way back toward the heels, forehead lowering toward the mat. It doesn't have to touch the mat, just toward the mat. Breathing here, 3 breaths. And slowly lifting, place the blocks in front of our mat, coming to the side, so facing the laptop or your computer. We'll bring the right foot out to your side, so I'm going to move this so you can see my leg and foot. So the foot should be flat, toes pointing straight forward. We'll slowly lift up. So tucking the tailbone here a bit, just lengthening through the spine, shoulders back and down. Taking the right hand to the extended leg, we'll reach the opposite arm overhead. Lowering just as far as you feel comfortable, pushing the left hip forward. Your gaze can go up, forward, or down. Slowly lifting. Grabbing one of those blocks. Come forward with the hands. Sticking the tailbone up toward the ceiling, so kind of arching the back. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this. So foot stays flat, so you kind of lift the tailbone up so that low back arches a bit. And then shifting forward or back, feeling that stretch into the adductor, the inner thigh, even into the groin. If you're not quite feeling that stretch, you can bring your elbows down to your mat. Slowly walk the hands up. Bring that knee in. We'll switch sides. So go ahead and taking the block to the opposite side, or release the other leg out to the side so the foot is flat and toes are facing straight forward. Tucking the tailbone a bit here as we lengthen through the spine. The right arm will reach up and over as the left hand lowers along the leg. Pushing the right hip forward, gazing up, forward, or down. So breathe. Slowly lifting up. Bringing the hands forward to our block. Again, tailbone lifts slightly, so we make that arch in the low back. I'll turn to the side again so you can see. So the foot stays flat here. And we lift the tailbone a bit. And then shift forward or back. So we feel that stretch along the inside of our left leg this time. And with that option to lower elbows down to your mat to increase the stretch. Slowly walking the hands up. We'll bring the extended leg back in. And taking hands flat on your mat, we'll bring the knees out. So we're going to walk them out little by little until you feel comfortable. So that may be stopping point here, maybe a little lower. Once you feel comfortable, your feet can come about the same distance as your knees. And then we'll slowly lower to elbows, seeing what that feels like for your stretch. And maybe even coming down so that the chest comes to your mat. Your head can go to the side so your neck is relaxed. Continue holding here. You can switch the gaze to the opposite side. Center, we'll slowly push hands into the mat to lift, bringing one knee in and then the other. We're going to come to the right foot pulling forward, left foot pulling forward as well for Uttanasana, forward fold. Feet are hip distance here and parallel to each other. We'll bend the knees slightly, grabbing elbows, and shift left and right. Releasing elbows, we'll find our block. Holding the block here, we'll heel toe the feet out until we find a nice wide-legged stretch where you feel a good stretch to the inner legs. And the toes are facing straight forward here so that the outsides of the feet are parallel to the edge of the mat. So you can go just as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe coming to your elbows feels comfortable here. Maybe all the way down to your mat, or even widening out a little bit more. And then we don't want to feel any pain here, so if it becomes too much of a stretch, lifting up just a bit. You can relax your head and neck once you find your posture. Flare on your elbows, walking to the hands, slowly heel toeing the feet back in. Coming to about hip distance, maybe a little wider for a squat. Slowly lowering hips down, hands can stay on your block or reach forward for a balance. Adjusting here so that the heels can stay on the mat. So if that's not comfortable, you can come to a chair or a dresser so that feels more comfortable, and you can lower down with a little bit of support. So grabbing onto something and slowly lowering. We'll hold here for 5 breaths. And finding that sweet spot, something that feels good to you. One hand back, slowly lower and then bring the other hand back. So locate our zafu, our pillow if you're using that, and we'll bring it underneath our low back. Once we lay down, we can bring the head down, bringing feet flat and lifting the hips. We'll lower it a little further down so it's right underneath the sacrum. Letting the knees fall apart, soles of the feet touch. So we come to reclined cobbler or butterfly. This allows the hips to open. We'll let the arms come by our sides, palms facing up. This is a restorative yoga posture. So letting gravity pull the knees down, really focusing on releasing the muscles in the inner thighs, the adductor muscles, even the muscles in the hips and glutes. Slowly bringing the knees together and lifting the hips. We'll remove the zafu from underneath us, coming flat on the mat. And bringing both knees into our chest, we'll shift left and right, giving our low back a little bit of a massage. Coming center, we'll take our right ankle to our left knee, making a figure 4. With the right hand, we'll weave it in between the legs, grabbing on top of the knee or underneath the knee, lowering the back flat on the mat. If this is not comfortable, you can release a bit, finding your strap. You can wrap the strap underneath the left leg and then pull. That feels more comfortable and your back is able to come flat on the mat. Keeping a figure 4 but releasing the strap or hands. Bring arms to a T, palms facing up. We'll lower the figure 4 to the left side, nice and slowly. If it becomes too much of a stretch, grab your zafu or pillow, place it underneath your leg or foot for a little bit of support, and then we'll gaze to the opposite side. Taking a few breaths to the low back here, making any adjustments as you feel comfortable. Slowly bringing the figure 4 center and wrapping. We'll straighten the left leg and bring the hands to the top of the right knee. Making hip rotations here, we'll take the knee to the outside of the body and bring it forward and bringing it across the body a bit and then to the chest again. So 2 more times, bringing it out to the side, forward, across the body, and into the chest. To the outside, forward, across the body, into your chest. We'll reverse that. coming across the body, forward to the outside of the body, into your chest, crossing the body, forward, outside of the body, and to the chest. One more, crossing the body, coming forward with the knee, outside of the body, and to your chest. And we'll release the foot. Switching sides, bring your left ankle to your right knee, lifting for that figure four. Left arm weaves in between the legs to grab the top of the knee, underneath, or using the strap again, wrapping it around the right leg so that the back is nice and flat here. Taking a couple of breaths here. Again, adjusting to where it feels comfortable to you. And holding the figure four, but releasing the hands or strap. Bring arms to a T, palms facing up and slowly lowering to the right. And with that option to use your zafu or pillow for a little bit of support. And then we'll take our gaze to the opposite side. Breathing deeply into the low back here. And bringing the figure four center. And unwrapping. We'll straighten the right leg, pulling the left knee into our chest. And with those rotations, first starting to the outside of the body, pushing the knee forward, crossing the body, and then bringing the knee to your chest. Bringing the knee to the outside of the body, forward, across the body, and into the chest. One more, starting with the outer rotation, coming forward, crossing the body, and into the chest. We'll reverse that, crossing the body first, coming forward, into the outside of the body, and to your chest. Crossing the body, forward, outside of the body, to your chest. Last one, crossing the body, forward, outside of the body, and into the chest. And releasing, finding your strap. We'll wrap the strap around the arch of our right foot. Lengthening the heel up toward the ceiling, finding a nice straight leg here. We want to make sure our shoulders are flat, so using elbows to deepen the stretch if you need to. Flexing the foot by pulling the toes back toward the head. Feel free to adjust the strap so it feels nice and secure on your foot. And then taking both sides of the strap into our right hand and placing our left hand on our hip to keep it down on the mat. Will slowly open to the outside of the body just till you feel a nice stretch. That may be right here if your hip starts to lift. So if it's the bottom hip or that hip that's staying on the mat begins to lift, that means you need to lift the extended leg back up and hold there. If you feel like you can open up a little bit more, feel free to do so as well. You can also bring something underneath the leg for support. And continue flexing the foot so you increase that stretch to the inner leg. And slowly lifting the leg up. And release the strap. Pulling the knee into your chest to rotate through the ankle. And rotate the opposite direction. And releasing the foot to the mat. Straighten the leg next to the left. Bring the left foot up, wrapping the strap around the arch of the foot, lifting it tall toward the ceiling. Shoulders nice and flat, so bending elbows if you need to deepen the stretch. Pulling toes back toward the head, so we're flexing the foot, encouraging the stretch along the back of the leg. And taking both sides of the strap into your left hand, we'll slowly open. Right hand comes to the hip to keep it down. Foot starts to lift. Bring the extended leg back up. Going to where you feel comfortable, maybe bending the elbow for support or placing something underneath the leg. I can show you here where a zafu or pillow might be comfortable for you to place underneath. Still holding the strap. Just finding where it feels comfortable, supportive. Still flexing the foot and breathing. Slowly bring the leg back up and release the strap, bringing the knee into the chest. As we squeeze the knee in, we'll rotate through the left ankle. And rotate the opposite direction. And release the foot to the mat. Straighten your leg next to the right. Finding Savasana, so making any adjustments to get comfortable here on your mat. Remove any blocks, straps, or zafus that may be touching the body and causing distraction. Allow the palms to face up. If you're feeling any pinching in the low back, feel free to bend the knees, letting the knees fall together, resting on one another. This releases the low back a bit. We'll close the eyes. Release every muscle in the body. Allowing the body and mind to soak in the benefits of the postures we worked on tonight. Slowly begin to bring movement back to the body by wiggling the toes and fingertips. Shift the head left and right. And inhale, reach the arms above the head, pointing through the toes. Exhale to release. Inhale to reach fingertips to toes. Exhale to release. Bending the knees, feet flat on the mat. Roll to the left side of your body, using your arm as a pillow, stacking your knees. Your top arm can come to the hip or to the mat in front of you. We'll take 2 deep breaths here. And slowly push yourself up to a cross-legged position of choice. Feel free to use your zafu or pillow, or even your blocks again underneath your knees. And palms facing up, and closing the eyes. Roll the shoulders back and down. And bringing focus to the mind and body. Notice any differences from the beginning of class. Thank yourself for making time out of your day to practice yoga and nourish your body, mind, and spirit. Opening the eyes. Inhale the arms out and up, palms touch. Exhale, fingertips to the mat, chin to the chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale straight to the heart.